All right. Awesome. So Leroy, I was just hanging out with you for the last couple of days. I kind of know what your gig is on teaching classes. I want TJ to interview a little bit more than I do, but before we get into that, I called you the Teaching Titan. You know, I mentioned what you were doing. Can you just share how many classes you've taught in like the last 6 or 12 months real quick before TJ grills you?
Yeah, absolutely. And thank you for having me on. We've been friends for a long time. Good to see you, TJ. So the I would say classes, I think I'm going to eclipse right over 50 this year in the last 12 months. And that's going to be everything from VA to market stuff that you get from MBS Highways, which is awesome because that stuff is in there. So it's just coming up with classes. Definitely over 550 agents the last time I checked, which I
Over
mentioned.
550 agents. What's the percentage of applications that you're taking that are purchase?
Every time I teach is, no matter what, it's 2 transactions. So 2 relationships. Before with it was refi possibilities, but as far as closed transactions, it's 2 per class. So that's what it usually rolls out to. And I mean, we've got a plethora of pre-approvals right now, but we just didn't have that affordability. So today is a huge help, to get people off the fence and get moving.
Nice. So TJ, you do a lot of different things about teaching classes. I know you and John Thomas had a whole seminar system thing going, talking about classes all day long. Leroy has kind of been going down this path of teaching a lot of VA stuff, but he's branched out into other classes and things of that nature. What do you want to ask him about what he's doing?
So Leroy, hey man, as always, good to see you. It's been a long time. Appreciate you jumping on here. It's funny. I was just doing a call with one of my Leads Academy members yesterday. And he was talking about teaching classes. We're big on the home buyer seminars and things of that nature. His biggest thing is the question he continues to ask: how do I fill the room? So you just said you've over 500 agents you've been in front of in the last 12 months. That's astronomical, man. How are you doing that? Is it just built upon your reputation? Is it making calls? Are you running ads, title companies? What are you doing to consistently fill a room to be able to build your brand as the expert and represent or to teach these agents?
I love that question. It's good to see you as well. I keep it very, very simple. And so there's really the main categories are to teach my title companies that I've worked with for years, and even some newer title companies. As I posted about teaching so much, other title companies want me to come and teach, which is great because that's just a new pool of other agents that they have, which is crucial. So title companies is key on there. Planning is number one. Anytime I'm going to teach, it's going to be at least 30 days out for planning. Very, very rarely, if I have to come and do something for maybe like another loan officer will have me come and teach. And when we only have 2 weeks, a 2-week leeway, that's just not enough time for the follow-up to get the people in the class. So usually the title company will fill those classes. And then I come up with different categories or different subjects that I teach. So I'm seeing a lot of repeaters in the classes, which is good. And then that's when you start to build the rapport. So the other thing I do is I actually use an ISA company as well. The one I use is American-based, phenomenal. I've worked with them on lead category stuff, but they're really huge if my class is running lower than what I want to see, or if I'm not getting the butts in the seats 2 weeks before, I'll turn the title company on. I do spend money to do that. So 15 to 20 bucks an hour, and it takes them about 10 hours, and they can usually pack the majority of the class or seats that are left in the class. And then what they do is they actually follow up. We've used a lot of leverage. I talked about leverage at the VMA event. And so by using that leverage for them to follow up, they'll actually call, text, and email. And it's like 1-3 or 5-3 in 1 day out for those RSVPs because stuff comes up. So they're on the phone and saying, oh, TJ, you can't make it because you've got to take your kiddos to an event. Not a problem. How about we get you on the next class? And then when the next class comes up, we start with that list first since they missed, and then they rotate back through. So that's really what I do. No advertisement. I haven't really looked at that. I think the biggest thing I like to tell people is don't be discouraged if you don't have 20 people in your class. 6 people in your class is still an amazing class. So it actually gives you more, I'd say, more time for questions, Q&A, as well as relationship. You're trying to shake 20 hands at the end of the class and say, thank you. It's a little rough. Or if you have a line of agents wanting to ask questions and they got to go. So I do prefer those smaller class environments.
So awesome. It's funny because when we were just on here on Tuesday, one of the things that we spoke about was leveraging your title companies, right? Was leveraging title companies, not just yours, but going out and building relationships with new title companies and leveraging their relationships and leveraging their account reps. If you're bringing something to them that they can in turn use as a value add product, as something to differentiate themselves from the rest of the title companies that are out there, that's a win-win situation right there. You get to build your expertise, you get to put yourself out in front of the agents who are bringing us the business. The title companies get to sponsor them, right? And show, hey, this is how we're different. We're helping you build your business. So kind of moving on to that, because I know the next question I'm going to get, right, after someone watches this is, how do you approach the title company, right? Are you cold calling them? Are you walking in? You bringing in donuts and coffee? What are you doing to get with these title companies?
Well, I started out with, and if somebody hasn't been in the business a long time, I would definitely reach out to any title company. Yeah, you can totally cold call a title company. What the title company is really looking for, this is what I've learned as I've had some successful title companies putting butts in seats and some not so much, is that if I can bring an agent valued relationship to them with somebody that I've worked with, and I think they're great and I think they're a match, because not every title company has the same marketing strategy. And so I try to bring them an agent, which then they get that relationship potential. So I really try to bring that as a value add. So I focus there, and then I go to my top level agents that I have. It's not like I work with a ton of agents. So the agents that I do a ton of business with, though, I really lean on their title companies because they're working with my team and we're having a great transaction. Just with a new title company here in town, we crushed the transaction. They were awesome. Escrow officer was awesome. I'm like, hey, I want to come and teach for your agents. I think this would be a good value. Immediately booked the class.
Yep, that's awesome. That's awesome. Fish, you look like you got something to say, buddy.
Whoa, no. I know a lot of people are going to ask, what is he teaching? Like which classes and how does he get these classes? And how, a lot of people let that be the thing that stops them from taking action on something like this.
Well, I think that's the one thing over the years is we've focused on VA loans, right? How to present a VA offer, seller set, everything that's in VMA when you're a part of that group, which gives you a ton of people that teach out there and experience. So I do the VA class and I do rotate it. So I changed the name. Like the new one in December's Winning the War on VA Loans. We're going to try that title, see how it works. I did the ugly truth about VA loans, which was really kind of more of a knee-jerk reaction type of title, but it changed the attendance because I've been teaching the one class for so long. And then I teach about rates, real estate in a recession. That's actually in MBS Highways. Just download the presentation, make it my own. I teach a Mortgage 101 class. I love that class. And we talked about this at the event is, yes, everyone right now that is amazing at loans are focusing and calling everybody on Monday and focusing on the top 20%. And I get that. I love that. But I love the new agent aspect of it. I had to switch my mindset, loving on real estate agents. Hey, we don't always do the same business. Loan officers aren't created equal. Real estate agents aren't created. They might be new. So what a better time to handhold all the way through that transaction and create a new relationship. So I love it when I have newer agents in the class, because as an agent myself, the one thing I focused on was my sphere of influence, my family and my friends, to get that first couple transactions under my belt. And they're talking about how they're a new agent all the time. Hey, let me help you with your transaction. So if I can get in front of them before they become huge, then they have that enjoyable experience. And that's how you build long-term partnerships, in my opinion.
Leroy, that's the approach. I want to jump in real quick, Fish. That's the approach you're taking. And when you meet with those agents, you got to check out John's Extreme Leads presentation. It is nuts and bolts, all about prospecting 101, how to build a sales business, like the little things that, we're never taught. Real estate agents aren't taught when they're getting their license. Loan officers aren't taught when we're going through and getting licensed and things like that. I think that'd be a perfect class for what you're doing right there. Just check that out if you get a chance.
Yeah. And Leroy, I think we might've done this aside. I don't know if you did stage or not, but we were kind of talking about the new agent concept. And you're like, well, dude, if I teach 20 or 30 agents and everyone is out there saying, well, hey, only 1 out of 10 of these people are going to make it, or 1 out of 20 or whatever, you're like, hey, that's cool. If I taught 20 or 30 people and 2 or 3 of them make it and 2 of them work with me, awesome. That's fantastic. Maybe I got to be a year ahead of the curve, but next thing you know, someone's like, oh, Leroy, how'd you get to be working with this top person? Well, because I knew him back then when he wasn't anybody, and I actually helped him grow his business. And, you did it in a setting where you had 20 or 30 people. So you didn't have to do a one-on-one with 30 people. You kind of multiplied your efforts, just like we always talk about with social media and stuff like that. Like, you're getting in front of, one versus one can help many, which is a concept that we all have to start learning how to do more with the time that we have. So I love it, man. It's good stuff.
Thank you. Happy hours are key. Love happy hours. So we do happy hour for the first Wednesday of every month from 3 to 5. I take that expense. Sometimes I share it with title. But yeah, it's just the market is kind of different. Obviously, some say it's rough, and it's rough out there. It's not rough for us because we're doing the daily activities of communicating with the agents. And so we do the happy hours. Those happy hours have 30 to 40 people there every Wednesday, every month.
Nice. So you're consistent with the classes, you're consistent with the happy hours. Does your team call all these agents on Monday morning?
No.
Okay. So you guys, that's not part of your model. You're not doing like we're going to dial 50 agents this Monday morning, but you do check in time to time with your better relationships, right?
Oh, all the time. Follow up Friday. So we have our core agents that send 2-3 deals a month, which is a lot. Those become like my special, my A agents, B agents, and then C agents. So as I filter through these classes, when I'm communicating with somebody in the class and I really like them, that's going to be a reach out. That's going to be somebody I'm going to start to build a relationship, see if I can answer any questions, talk about different products in the market. Another class that was great for us was the 2-1 buy down class.
I got one last question. I'm going to let TJ close this out because trying to keep these short, man. How do you keep track of all this stuff? I mean, like, what systems are you using to track all the agents you're talking to and all the classes you're teaching and all the things you got going on a daily basis?
I just track everything through Eventbrite, which gives me the names, numbers, and emails. And so I just take that, load it into the CRM. So then, and we just converted from Lion Desk to Big Purple Dot. So we're transitioning to that. We just keep that activity. So if I have something that comes out that's brand new, whether it's DSCR or VA loan or class, that just is a simple email. I'm not somebody that's going to email them 4 or 5 times a week or I don't have time on that. 2, everybody's getting those things. I know because I get them too. So I try to be authentic in that conversation, which builds more relationships for sure.
All right, TJ, bring us home. We got 1 minute left here.
Sorry, as the sheriff is going past the office, so I tell everyone all the time, I work across the street from the courthouse, so we hear lots of strange noises in the background. But nah, man, like I think it's awesome what you're doing. Obviously I've known you for a long time and seeing you just. I think the biggest thing is consistency, right? You grab something that you're comfortable with, you utilize it as a way for you to build your business, and you just continue to implement on this. And I think that can be said for anything. Anything, just if you're watching this and you're thriving or you need to survive or you're wondering what the hell am I going to do, you got to find something that you're comfortable with and implement it and stay consistent. Too often we have that shiny object syndrome. We start something off, we don't get amazing results within the first 5 days, right? I turn on P90X, I do 15 minutes of workout, I'm like, where's my 6-pack? Nope, I want to go upstairs and just eat some donuts instead, right? We don't get those instant results. We don't stick with it. And that's what you've done. And it's really impressive, man. So I think what I would just ask you to do is, you kind of put a bow on this, wrap this up. What would you tell the people of MLO Net? What would you tell them? Like, hey, this is what you can be doing. This is how you can build your business. This is how you can survive for the next 3, 6, 9, 12 months, whatever it takes for this market to turn.
1, answer your phone every single time, as much as you can, as fast as you can. I think that's also a key to our success. So when I teach, then they know that I'm going to answer my phone. And the whole life balance thing, that's kind of changed a little bit this year because every single lead matters. Every single deal matters. And so that's the one thing I'd say. And then don't be afraid to just get out there and just teach. Find a subject or a hot topic is huge. So just do that. It doesn't need to be 30 slides. It can be 15 slides. And then those are just talking points that you want to cover. So don't have to be nervous about it. Go after it. Invest in your business, in yourself.
Yep. No, that's awesome, man. So, brother, well, thank you so much. We truly appreciate it. I mean, you've been a big supporter of MLO Net. You've been a big supporter of Fish and BMA. So, we truly appreciate you taking a few minutes and hopping on here with us today.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me.
Thanks, guys. Good luck, Bob. We'll talk soon.